the governor said he wanted an Arizona-type law in this state. I think Senator Herodopoulos talked about the need for an immigration law, but in the end, an immigration law in Florida did not pass during the 2011 session. Let's talk about that in terms of the politics around immigration as an example of what was going on in the 2011 session.
Okay, well, you had several things at work. Number one, you have a cohesive and vocal group of Hispanic legislators from Miami-Dade who didn't like the way this thing was going. It seemed mean to them. It was anti-immigrant. You have important sectors of the business community, like the Florida Retail Federation, a fairly conservative organization that didn't like the signal we would be sending to tourists from Venezuela coming here wanting to spend their money at those outlet malls on I-75. You had J.D. Alexander, a respected senator who is very deep into agribusiness in his other life, who gave a very measured, nuanced speech on the Senate floor about how these people are striving, they've come here for a reason, they want to go back to their homeland. And he was rejecting this Tea Party, send them all back sort of mentality. And it was another example where you saw the moderating influence of the Florida Senate. These senators have big districts, very diverse districts, and the immigration issue just doesn't play as simplistically in the Senate as people might like.
Mary Ellen, any comments?
Well, I think that the part of the problem with the immigration legislation is that this was an issue that got an early vote in the House. The House took a really tough vote on it, and the Senate waited until the last minute. There was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of inside House trading. You know, if you take this up, we'll do this for you. And that all got really bogged down in the end. The other thing that I found really remarkable about this session is that with the immigration bill and with the union issues, both pension and the union dues, we saw more public participation than any session I can remember. These people, the immigration, the pro-migrant community, didn't just come and march on the Capitol and then go home, which often happens. Instead, they came every week. They packed every meeting room. They prayed with legislators. They held signs. They carried banners. They brought their children. They showed that they were flesh and blood, hardworking people, who had a point of view, and they were in their face. And so I think, in some ways, I think they brought something that Tallahassee, because we're so far away, rarely sees, and that's real people.
I mean, remarkably well, that whole, you talk about all the lobbying that goes on. That was a remarkable, I thought, the way they conducted themselves. Yes. You couldn't help but feel it when they were wearing orange T-shirts, and every one of them said, "I am Florida." That's and right. I think J.D., Senator Alexander, had a rosary that somebody had given him the day he made one of the most remarkable speeches on the floor that I've seen in a long time. It was very emotional.
And he spoke about, gave him his rosary. He put it on his computer screen on the floor, and he kept it there the whole session.
It was remarkable. And I know he swayed votes on the floor that day. I thought it was a remarkable speech. Now, he has grown up working with immigrants and has hundreds of them in his business, and he knows the issues.